Now, a telecommunications tax of at least 1 kobo per second for GSM calls you made will be one of the sources of revenue needed to support free healthcare for Nigeria's vulnerable group. This is incorporated in President Muhammadu Buhari's recently approved National Health Insurance Authority Bill 2021. The bill reviewed by Nairametrics includes a clause under Section 26, subsection 1C of the Act that specifies that telecommunications tax not less than 1 kobo per second of GSM calls is a source of money for the Vulnerable Group Fund. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu is joining me live here from our studios here in Lagos this morning to discuss this 1 kobo tax. Sounds like no money.
Maybe let's do BOI.
Maybe let's start with the Bank of Industry.
And they'll go to the 1 kobo tax.
Yes. So, it's good. How was your weekend?
Very good, very good.
Okay.
Political season, you know.
Yeah, it's a season, by the way. It was a happy season there. What do you make of the 2021 performance? How did you read the financials? Wasn't it?
You can see that I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this story because I wanted to celebrate BOI. You know, say the land of the blind, one-eyed man is a king. Usually, when we talk about GOEs, government-owned enterprises, it's always tragedy, losses, and so on and so forth. And BOI has to pay us for this. We don't celebrate them. Because from the ashes of Nigeria, NIDB,
Nigeria Industrial Development Bank,
Nigerian Development Bank,
on Broad Street,
1964, that was incorporated in 1964, £2 million as the capital, initially owned, represented by IFC. In those good days in Nigeria, you know, 2001, NIDB was restructured and reconstructed, and from those ashes, Bank of Industry came up.
Yes.
And initially, the kind of problems that similar DFI, development financial institutions, you know, were having, like you remember those days, Nigerian NBC and Nigerian Bank of Commerce and Industry,
yes.
and such like. People always saw those kind of banks as
socialized banks, as
national cake.
Yes,
you go and collect money and you never pay back, and so you and me know as finance people that if you always take and you don't pay back, one day you become dead.
NIDB had a bit of that problem
back then. That's actually why they had problem, and that's why it
was restructured.
To BOI now. And so BOI initially also struggled in that respect of Nigerian
in its first few years.
Yes. But I think the last 3, 4, 5 years they've had solid management, solid corporate governance. And, you know, the fortunes have turned.
And they've also, I think the organization has also restructured. They now have a microfinance unit. They've done a whole lot.
So that's why we're doing this, to, you know, put a mark on them and remind other government-owned enterprises, you know, like the way we celebrate this, the bankers celebrate JAMB, not those ones that by December, the director generals will go and pile up fake invoices and, you know, to clear the allocation, so that nothing goes to the next year.
Or perhaps those who declare profit and revenues that you can't really see.
You can't really see.
But BOI has been able to become such a very... It's becoming just like an EFDB down here. Because
but I won't let them go scot-free. Okay. Because despite this results, you know, the 7-8 billion will go into the government pool to help government revenue. I remember the government have been budgeting for this at the beginning of each year. But I mean, the issue is that people are still complaining about their loan structures, and especially the SMEs. You know, I guess maybe they need to get more funding and then look at their terms a little more, and then so that a lot of people, the MSMEs, you know, the major problem they have is lack of finance.
Yes,
and we know that we will fund them. They control about 90% of the employment in the country. So BOI has a very important role to play in the country.
Those who are taking those interventions, as it were, I'm sure. Do you think they felt the impact down the line over the years? Because without this money is not generated by buying and selling government securities.
It's actually creating wealth, creating employment.
Yes,
and that has been the role of you know, reducing poverty. And that has been the impact of BOI.
They supported creative industry, for example.
Exactly.
Significantly. Very strongly.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's look at the very interesting one, which is the one couple.
Yeah, let's see the vulnerable fund and the tax sources.
One couple.
What do you make of the one couple tax?
One couple. See, when I hear our citizens talk about, government should bring out money to do this thing. Government should bring out money to do that thing. I tell them the government has no money really. That the person who has money is what? The citizens of the country.
Yeah, okay.
And the government's money comes from what? Taxation of the citizens of the country.
It's going to be hard for you to sell what you're saying on the street.
But the point is that people don't know that it's their tax.
How the economy works.
Yeah, that's how the economy works. The economy works on the basis of taxation. That's where the revenue comes from. And so when they say the government has done, as we say, government should bring money now to pay this. It's tax revenue. You don't want to be the one who goes to the central bank to say print more money, my friend. Look at this now. One for prepaid calls, I think it's about 11 kobo per second. For postpaid calls, about 13 kobo per second. For at least for the top company in the sector. And so this is about 9-10% tax in addition to what is happening, what we're paying already on that.
Yes.
I've tried to get the number of seconds that these telecom companies made so I can estimate the government revenue coming from these. But see, the objective of the fund is noble, very noble, because we found out that about more than 80 million Nigerians cannot afford Medicare. They can't go to hospitals. They can't pay their bills. So this bill was to help in supporting those who cannot go to hospital and pay. The little children, the pregnant women, the aged, the indigent people, and so on and so forth, so that the people don't do self-help. And the fund from this now will be, in addition to other sources of the telecom tax, one of it, will help in providing the fund, the vulnerable group fund for the economy, for the country. It's very good initiative.
Implementation of how to define a vulnerable group and how to get this.
Let us start. They say children, the pregnant, you're not pregnant, you won't go there.
Yeah.
The aged, the indigent, But at least let's start. About 83 million Nigerians fall into this bracket, and it will help.
Are there other ways to fund these healthcare initiatives beyond new tax tax windows?
That's what I just told you now. I said, where is government revenue come from? Government revenue comes from what? Tax.
So we're back to tax.
Tax must be tax.
So we can't go anywhere with
Where we look at it is tax. It's tax.
Okay.
I mean, the only way, the things I want to talk about is that, we already talked about in this program several times. There are so many leakages everywhere.
Yeah, but we have health insurance. You have health insurance levy, we have telecommunications.
We have about 80 billion somewhere. We have about 100 million somewhere. We have these things. So all the leakages. But the issue at the end of the day is government funds operation through what? Tax.
Yeah, but we just take that 80 billion and just use it into this and say, well, you guys can enjoy this tax-free for some time because the accountant general has 80 billion.
You're calling names. I didn't call any names.
Just to, yes, if someone is alleged to have 80 billion naira, it's still an allegation. But thank you so much for waking us up this morning on this side of the tax business. We can't run away from it. Two things are sure. Tax is one of them.
Tax is one of them.
Chikambono.
That's why I can go to jail for it.
Alright, business analyst.
Thank you.
Folks should be going to jail around here as well.
Thank you.
For not paying tax. Thank you.
You.
Have a great week ahead.